Hey everybody, we are a few days after the closing of the first ever Speak Up, Rise Up Storytelling Festival. I started writing out a long list of thank yous and people that I wanted to personally thank for getting the festival together, and the list started getting really long. So I decided to just record this audio recording thank you list instead. So first and foremost, I have to thank the community partners, all 7 community partners who put in a lot of their own time and effort and work in addition to the work that they're already doing, which is amazing work, and to the people who performed on behalf of the partners. So Lady Parts Justice League, New York City Veterans Alliance, Theater of the Oppressed, the Future Project, Muslim Community Network, Razum for Ukraine, and Planned Parenthood. So thank you all for providing your stories and putting your voices on stage, which was really, at the end of the day, the whole point of this festival. When I first started throwing around the idea for this festival, it was mid to late December, and the very first person that I talked to about it was my friend Susan Kent, who very swiftly and promptly told me, Asher, you got to go back and put some more work into this because right now, the way that you've thought it out, it's not going to work. And over the following few months, with Susan's help and the help of a bunch of other people who I'll mention by name in a minute, really turned it into something that could be pulled off. And so Susan gets the first round of thank yous for keeping my feet to the fire and making sure that I think things through. The next few people that I started talking to about this to really help shape the idea of the festival and to start teasing out more of the theatrical side and the organizing side. Nicole Ferraro was one of the also one of the first people that I talked to about this to really help shape a lot of how this could look, especially with the relationships with the community partners. Peter Michael Marino gave me some incredible sage-like advice just in terms of running a festival, sitting down and talking to me and talking through a lot of how this stuff actually works. This festival would not have happened at all if not for his guidance. Larry Rosen, Mark Pagan were also some of the first people that I sat down with and talked to, as well as Kevin Allison and David Crabb. When I called Kevin to run this idea by him initially many months ago, he also helped a lot in shaping how are you going and asking a lot of questions of how are you going to bring diversity to the forefront of this festival. David Crabb as well, thinking a lot about the ways that this festival can be shaped in a way that is inclusive and in a way that is really amplifying voices of people that we need to hear from, and how are we going to bring the storytelling community together with those communities. So David and Kevin, a big thank you. Some of the first sort of institutional partners that came on, Civic Hall came on as our event partner very early on, helping provide a lot of space where we could do rehearsals, helping provide some promotional help near the end of the festival. So a big thank you to all of the Civic Hall team, Elena, Olivia, Genevieve, and Camilla. The theatrical partner, The Tank, really would not have the theatrical side of the festival would not have come together if not for the help and guidance of Rosalind and Megan at The Tank. Essentially, they helped me find the entire technical crew, and so without them, it wouldn't have happened. And also, we got to borrow their projector, which allowed us to play around with a lot of really cool things during the festival that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Or I would have had to rent a really expensive projector and gone into more debt than I already did. And so thank you. A big thanks to The Tank. On the storytelling side of things, so Sean O'Brien, Chris Ryan, Richard Cardillo, people who really helped shape a lot of how I was thinking about this from the storytelling side. Our selection committee, which I like calling just because it sounds really official, but Susan Kent, Anita Flores, and Destiny Artuet helped a lot in terms of shaping the actual week and the programming and how it all looked. And so if you're thinking that there were a couple nights that seemed really well put together and and really well thought out, that was much more of their insight than mine. Give quick thanks to Christy at Panoply and Joanna Solitaroff and Rob Penty for helping out on some various things. A very big thank you to Andrea Alton, who did publicity for the festival. I still am not entirely sure what publicity is, but I know that Andrea did a fantastic job at it, getting us into all sorts of different publications. A few of the shows got reviewed. A few of the shows were written up ahead of time, put out on podcasts, radio. Andrea Alton, a big, big thank you to her. Also, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to our sponsors, Forward.us and the I Am an Immigrant campaign. They are an immigrants' rights coalition focusing on immigrants' rights, sharing immigrant stories. We were incredibly lucky to have shared 2 different stories from Forward.us written by their members that were read on stage in front of our audiences. Please check out Forward.us to check out all of the stuff that they're doing and ways to get involved in immigrants' rights. Also, a big thank you to We Get Depressed, which is a mental illness awareness campaign. Go to wegetdepressed.com, buy a t-shirt. The t-shirts very simply say "We Get Depressed" on them. The idea is to lower the stigma around depression and mental illness. I personally have a shirt. I love wearing it around. Also, a big thank you to Lagunitas Brewing for providing all of the beer during the festival, and to the Dorian Gray Pub, who hosted us each night after all of the shows. Big thank you to all of them. Also, a big thank you to all of our media partners, the Action Group Network, Millennial Politics, and Civic Hall. Check out all of those places for information on different activist events coming up, different ways to get involved with resistance work, and for anything of that sort. Action Group Network, Millennial Politics, and Civic Hall, specifically through the What We Do Now series. The production itself, the entire week, would not have been possible if not for an amazing crew that worked well beyond the hours that we would expect, and really each of them doing probably 2 persons worth of work, which is the only way that independent theater works, but nevertheless still deserves a lot of recognition. So Sarah, our lighting designer, AJ, our sound designer, Kate, who's the stage manager, who wrangled and helped set for 25 different shows over the course of a week and got on and off probably close to 100 performers. Kevin, who ran our front of house, and Rebecca, who helped out also on the lighting, on the light board. Sarah and AJ both pulled off an amazing feat, pulling together running sound and lights and utilizing the theater in ways that amplified storytelling in different ways that we've never done before, and did it oftentimes on the fly, last minute, with no budget. For anyone who did come to the theater and when you walked in and your first impression was, wow, those lamps look really cool, and the set really has this really nice feel and homey vibe to it, that was Sarah. Sarah and Rebecca placed the lamps and they set that. We had a bunch of other people behind the scenes running different things. A big thanks to Chris Torres and Dana Trunk for running camera, both photography and video, and for Ed and Carly for pitching in, as well as Naya. And a big thank you to my friend Ryan for lending us some equipment. A big thank you to Lindsay Hoffman, Susan Kent, and Destiny Artuet for lending their voices for our pre-show recordings. I want to give a big thank you to Matt Pizorski, who not only designed the logo and the programs for the festival, but he also helped carry a lot of stuff out of the festival during loadout, and helped me get home on Sunday, which without his help, I might have just lay down on the theater floor and fallen asleep. Also want to give a thank you to Rosie for providing me a Snickers during one of the days. If not for that, I might not have eaten that day. And I want to give a very big thank you to all of the volunteers who came out and helped volunteer during the front of house, ushering and running the bar and running tickets during the entire week. So that's Vanessa, Sina, Nissa, Jeff, Michelle, Colleen, Julie Ann, Rebecca, Ann, Jude, Sarah, Juliana, and Robin. Big thank you to all of you for volunteering your time and making the entire experience from the second you walked into the theater a pleasant one. And then a very, very big thank you to all of the performers, for everyone who went on stage with something new and felt vulnerable and still did a kick-ass job, to everyone who curated a show and put together an amazing lineup of people with no time and little rehearsal, to everyone who got on the stage and shared part of your story, whether you are a professional or whether you are not. Anyone who challenged themselves to use the theater and use the tech that we were able to do, and provide these different layers on storytelling that we don't get to see otherwise. Thank you for sharing your voices and your visions and allowing us to help bring them to life. Also want to, of course, thank my parents for driving up all the way from Maryland to see the last couple days of the festival, and for your support and kindness throughout this process. Just a big thank you to everyone else who contributed in any sort of way. Anyone who donated to the crowdfunding, anyone who told their friends to come and see a show. But more importantly, I wanted people to come see the stories. It's one thing, I can plan a festival, I can book the best people to come and share their stories. We can have the most incredible stories told on stage, but without people coming to see them, then it doesn't really matter. And so we had close to 800 people come throughout the week and see shows, and we had over 100 performers grace the stage at any given point during the week. And so we got stories out there. So a big thank you to anyone who came to see a story, anyone who helped support one of the artists as one of the openers, as one of the friends. This this was a project that we knew was going to be hard from the onset, that I knew was going to be hard to get everything together, especially for a first-time festival, especially in the middle of August. So to everyone who came out to the shows, who enjoyed the shows, who took in the shows, and that's it. A big thank you to everyone who I might have forgotten. If I forgot you, please don't take it personally. A lot of people throughout the week and over the last, especially the last couple days of the festival, the biggest question that I keep getting is there going to be a next one? Is there going to be another one? Am I going to do this again? So the answer to that is unclear right now. We'll see. You can keep asking me, but I'll keep saying I don't know. There's definitely more. I think there's definitely something here. I think there's definitely something that came out of this that I wasn't necessarily anticipating in very good ways. And so we'll see. Maybe we'll see everyone again next year for Speak Up, Rise Up Volume 2, or whatever sort of iteration it turns into. But until then, I'm going to go get some sleep. So thank you all again. Goodbye.